Next up, we have the nomination of finalists. I'm looking for unanimous consent from the board to go ahead and pass all three on to the finalist.
So moved.
Second that.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Jess, thumbs up. Thumbs down. There, okay. So we got unanimous consent. So you're all finalists. So what the board's going to do is take about a 15, 20-minute break to get on the same page with our finalist questions. Kind of ask some more in-depth stuff, same as we did last time. Basically, get some more in-depth questions, make sure we're not being redundant, get on the same page, ask each candidate a couple more questions, and then we'll take the vote and move this along. So about a 15, 20-minute break. So we got together, got some questions pulled together. I'm just going to move around the table if that works for everybody, and then end with Jess with any questions she has. So Sandy?
Okay. Yes, we are hiring a new superintendent.
We're just going same order. Paula, go ahead and go first. Up at the.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As we are hiring a new superintendent, what would you tell them is the best part of our school district and something that needs early attention?
Well, I think I did cover some of that in my statement. I believe that our school district is incredible when it comes to teachers, facilities. Our schools are very nice schools, and the curriculum is very rich. But I would choose a person that has very dear to their heart student well-being, and focusing on a well-rounded student. Because if you just focus on academics and don't close the loop, then that person is not going to be a good student in college, and is not going to be a contributor as a worker. It doesn't matter where or what field. So how we do this? Well, you can grill that person when you interview them. How are you going to do this? Because the resources are out there, but maybe we need to use them differently. So these kids graduate as seniors and say, we are ready to conquer this world. They are conquering us at this point, but we're ready to take this like the bull from the horns, okay, and make it a better world. We're too submissive. I'm not inciting any kind of revolution here, but we're too submissive. Whatever comes from the government down, we say amen. And where is the critical thinking? We have to make our students critical thinkers, and they have to be exposed to this truth and this other truth and confront in noble debate and respectful debate and come to their conclusions. But what we're having is this, and we only see one side of everything. So we have to stop this. And the superintendent has to be a critical thinker himself.
Or herself. Yep. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, next question. So the board often gets characterized as having the same opinion when we come to unanimous decisions, be it on policy, be it on a decision about something that has to happen in a vote. Often when we come to that unanimous decision, that's what the public sees out of the meeting. How do you characterize that assumption as it relates to us working together as a team and also consensus building?
Well, this is a difficult question. How you build consensus, right?
To a degree, yep.
There are, well, this is not, how can I put this? I'm very passionate about certain issues. And I'm not implying that I would be fighting with people I'm passionate about things, but I think that you have to build consensus, and we have to hear the public more, and we need to hear parents more, and we need to hear teachers more, But it's challenging. I don't know if I have a definite answer. These are things that sometimes you have to build over time, getting to know people and know what buttons you should not press because they will explode like dynamite. So, it's a little bit of knowing trigonometry, to not a straight line, but, and then we have to build, the board, even if I'm not elected, because I'm trying to fill a void that I notice in the district, but I would be more than happy to support the other two candidates because I think that they are wonderful people, honestly. And as a mom from the school district, I would be happy to help anyways, as a volunteer with my ideas, bringing resources, because I love Jason Curtis. I want this to be on the record, by the way. If you can do the replay for him, because
Sure.
He is a hero.
Yep.
And he's a wonderful person, and I have offered my help on many occasions to Jason.
Super. Chad?
Paula, how do you balance parents' rights versus school board policy and district and federal mandate?
This is you're asking me the tougher questions. Well, let's put it this way. I'm not for mandates. I respect what comes down, but I did send a question to the interim superintendent that I appreciate very much and what she's doing, and I never got a reply. I always give examples. I got a reply for all the candidacy and all of that. But when the schools sent out a communication about Summit View was it, or the new school? Meadowview, being a site for vaccination for children starting at age 5. I wrote Kristen, and I said, why are we, taxpayers, facilitating a school for vaccinations that are not safe when the immune system of a child is stronger than any of our immune systems combined, unless they have compromised diseases? So, I do not like that mandate. And I know that sometimes administrators have their hands tied because, they are put in a very difficult situation. But that's when I believe that parents, we should have a voice. We should bring these things and say, are we going to do this and allow this to happen when it hasn't been tested long enough? We don't know if it's needed by a child. The data about injuries is incredible, including deaths. So no, I would not mess up with the body of a child in the district. And I'm ready to put my body in the line, because I know that I will be highly criticized. But you have to say, okay, they can go get the vaccination at Walgreens if they want. But we believe that there isn't enough data available for us to provide a site that is public domain.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Speaking of COVID, so last year, I'll kind of do this introduction and try to trim it down for the other, asking the same thing other time. So last year, we had a COVID policy that was very board intensive. There was lots of board discussion and board votes on it, and we were cohorting people, and we were virtualing people, and we were in person, and then not so much in person, and mask mandates, and we did a lot last year. And now this year, in May, we decided, okay, let's go into it with mask optional, and then give the authority to our superintendent to monitor it and work with a surgical precision on when there is COVID in the classrooms to take extra steps to stop the spread, if you will. So we've been doing that this year. And then heading into next year, just would like to get your thoughts on what we did last year, what we're doing this year, and then heading into next year, what you'd like to see.
Okay, well, I could talk like for a couple weeks about this
Let's keep it to 5 minutes.
subject. Because, I come, even though I'm an educator, I have done my independent research and my field is health and wellness. So I respect everybody's opinion and what they do with their families. And we as a family, my husband thinks one way, I might sometimes think a different way. But we have found some kind of alignment. And I would like to see that alignment in the school district because the restrictions and the social isolation and needless to say, the school lockdowns have caused more harm than the virus. This is a virus. I'm not a scientist or a doctor. I'm a mom and an educator. But I have read enough to know that this, and I have had doctors explaining, this is a virus that is so heavy that drops 6 feet. That's why we have to keep the 6 feet, because it drops to the floor, okay? So are we, and Omicron, is a variant that is not even as damaging as those before. So are we going to again impose so many restrictions and masks? Breathing oxygen is so important for learning. It's incredibly important for learning, for being alert. So I definitely think that students can be distant within the classroom and cautious, washing hands, all of that, I'm all for that. You can be safe and not necessarily wear a mask.
Thank you.
As a leader, when you're within an organization or within the district, oftentimes you've got to work under the knowledge that you're a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yes.
Okay, and so how would you handle decisions that are made that are in the best interest of protecting the district, not just the district as the buildings and the students, but the district as all the community that's a part of it, that may go against your personal beliefs?
Well, I believe in democracy. So that would be my answer. I believe in democracy. So if the district or the different board members do not agree with what I want, and they decide, going back to the example of the mask, and that is one little thing, and everybody favors it, well, I have to align with what the majority, because this is one instance of a democracy. So I have to go with what the majority thinks in voting and representing the district. But I can disagree today in this deposition, right? I can disagree with the fact that it made me feel very uncomfortable as a resident of Oconomowoc and a school mom that one of our schools was being used for vaccination of children. It made me uncomfortable. So I think that it's good for me to bring it up to the board. It's good for me to express it during meetings. And if you elect me, I will fight in that fight, a good fight of faith, right? And hope and love, because we will pay an incredible price. We're not even seeing the tip of the iceberg of the number of the fallout of all the nonsense that is going on. So the price is our kids' health and their well-being and their education, and they cannot breathe behind a mask.
Okay. Jessica? To unmute.
All right.
There you are.
Sorry, yeah, just had to unmute. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with our mission and vision statement that kind of goes along with our strategic plan in the district. So my question to you is, what makes our mission and vision meaningful to you? And I'll go ahead and tell you what the statements are so that.
Well,
you're not put on the spot.
no, you will never put me on the spot because I have a clean conscience. So I read the mission and the vision, and I have all the paperwork that Megan gave me, and I studied it. I'm a student before being a teacher. So I will never be caught by surprise. Maybe I won't quote it literally, but basically it's about empowering. And I'm all for empowering our students. And we need to make a switch now, because empowering students when I arrived here in 2017 is different from empowering them now. We have a different world. I don't know if we are seeing this, because this requires a lot of mindfulness, and not everybody is mindful. So I believe that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and we need to empower students with new tools. That's why I emphasize so much, are we developing extracurricular activities and adapting the curriculum? Have we adapted the curriculum at all after the pandemic? This is a question.
So my question was, what makes our mission and vision meaningful to you?
They are completely meaningful to me because I believe in empowering students for the times that we are at. Now, the mission, is it being carried out? Because you can have it on paper and put it here as a wonderful, you can paint it in all the walls of the school. But if the mission is not implemented and adjusted to the demands of the times, it will just stay as a nice phrase.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
Hypothetically, if your fellow board members vote for purple and you vote alone for gold, how do you proceed?
If all of them vote for purple,
Or just the board majority?
Yeah, board majority.
yes. And you need everybody to vote the same?
No, you voted different than everybody else.
Yes, and I
How
can
do
keep
you
my
react to
vote.
that? How do you react to that? How do you proceed after the vote's done?
I don't have any problems voting differently. No.
That's an
No.
okay answer.
I don't have, I have a mind very much of my own. So I would, my purpose, again, we're coming back to, my father ran for Congress in Argentina, I have to say. So I come a little bit counting votes in the garage of my house. So I like democracy. And I believe that for the most part, I have to represent the school district families here. So I have to be truthful to God, before God, how I represent the families in my district. And I'm sorry if the rest vote on an issue differently from what I think, I will have to be the only one raising my voice. And I don't have one problem doing that. You're welcome.
I do not have a second question.
Okay. Chad, do you have a second question?
Good.
I do not have a second question. Do you, Matt?
I do have
Second question, Matt.
Are you able to work within a system that is policy-driven without sidetracking that system to push a personal agenda?
I don't have personal agendas. I have no personal agenda. I have no links to the school district. I work in my business. I have my 2 daughters that I adore, and that's why I don't need a script, because I have it engraved in my heart. And as a mother and a teacher and an educator and a business owner, I want the students to thrive in the school district. This is my statement. I want them to thrive, and it's a very difficult world from what we have. Oconomowoc is not New York City. Can we think about this for a moment? A kid that applies to a program in a big city in the United States will be very much at odds if we don't prepare that student here well. Very much at odds, because it's a very hard world, okay? And if COVID, we don't even have numbers here, okay, compared to New York City, Miami, and tons of other cities in the States. So I believe that I would just follow policy, not get sidetracked, because I don't have an agenda. My agenda is to put the students' well-being as a whole, because as human beings, we have to take care of everything. Physical, as much sports as... Can I emphasize something? We even stop sports, for God's sake, when we have fantastic facilities in the open air. Why would we do that? We're killing our teenagers by denying the possibility to play sports. So physical health, mental health, good oxygen, good water. Then we bring the dogs to sniff.
Okay, we need to reel her back
Okay,
in. Yep.
but you know the inconsistencies. We bring the
Yep.
dogs to sniff whether they have pot in their cubbies, and then we don't talk about it in the classroom. We don't talk about it in civics. There's no class to address these issues to keep our students drug-free, violent-free, bullying-free. We have to
Okay,
address
thank you.
all those things. We have
We need
be
to, thank you,
consistent.
Paul. Okay, Jess, do you have any final questions?
I just had one. What worries or concerns do you have about joining the board?
My concerns? That I might need to go to Florida. I travel a little bit, so I will make sure that my availability, because I put it in writing and I signed it, and when I sign, I go by my word. I will be present in the meetings as much as I can, and I can do my work remotely because I'm well organized, but I travel sometimes for my business. I attend professional conferences, and I participate in things. So
Okay.
that's my only concern, that I might be able to join through video, which is a wonderful way of joining because I'm all for video.
Very good. Thank you, Paula.
You're welcome.
Those are our questions.